Sanders, and I'm supporting Mitt Romney.
I'm Victor Jackson. I'm supporting President Barack Obama.
So, what's the one flip a coin to see who goes first? Does that have a coin?
We got imaginary somewhere.
Here, you want to use like a quarter or
Yeah,
$1?
quarters.
Why did you say
Use tails? So I'll start. Mitt Romney is a businessman. Mitt Romney knows how to create jobs. A lot of the reason why there's jobs in China and other locations across the world is because our tax rates are too high. What we really need to do is bring people back, bring companies back here. With big businesses, we'll create jobs. A lot of people are out of work because there aren't any jobs for people to have. And there aren't any jobs because there aren't any businesses. There aren't any businesses because they're in other countries. What we need to do is bring those countries back. And not just that, work on our small businesses. Obamacare and other regulations hurt the small businesses that we have. If my mom employed 9 more employees, she would be going out of business right now because of Obamacare. My mom is a dentist, she has 1 employee. Since the recession, she has taken a 67% income decrease. That's the only reason why we're afloat right now is because of my stepdad. Obamacare will hurt small businesses like my mom and others and shove them into the ground.
Okay. So, President Obama believes that in order to get this economy going, that we must invest in green energy and green technologies. But as Representative from Mr. Romney here says that Obamacare has hurt companies.
Will hurt. It hasn't been initiated yet. Yeah, will hurt.
So, and then he also says that, and they also believe that Obamacare will raise insurance for middle class and lower income families by $2,000 or more. For my family, actually, his healthcare system has raised our insurance policy, has lowered our insurance policies. So I don't believe, and I don't know where they're getting their numbers from, but also that he also states that President Obama isn't for small companies. When President Obama helped 95% of small companies, he is lowering the taxes for 95% of small companies. And small companies are like little, like real small companies, like the janitor company that cleans our school, Bob's Cleaning Services. Not companies like Donald Trump, as what Mitt Romney considers a small company. So therefore, of course, it's going to hurt a major company because we don't want to keep feeding them money. We need to invest in smaller companies, therefore our economy can grow, not larger companies.
About that 3% of the higher companies. Let's say you sell computers and you're a small business. Computers are expensive, right? You make a lot of money off those computers. Mr. Romney, of companies like that in the top 3% are going to be hurt. Small businesses that employ 100 or more people are going to be hurt. What we need to focus on is getting people income, not just lowering their taxes. Yes, we can lower their taxes and they'll be okay. But if they don't have a job, there's not going to be any taxes to pay, and they'll be lower and lower. Also, you mentioned something about green energy, but didn't really discuss it. Mr. Obama supports green energy. Yes, he does. But what he does is he puts money into companies. One of those companies, Basindra, no longer exists today. It went out of business with Obama's support. Right now, there's a $1 million glass statue made of existing solar panels sitting in the Midwest, just to look at. That is just a representation of some money that Obama is sending, and that's going nowhere. What we really need to focus on, and what I was saying about the small businesses, Everyone supports small businesses. But what Obama doesn't realize is that he's initiating a healthcare plan at a time where it hurts small businesses. Small businesses aren't making 100% of their prior income. My mom is making 67% less than she was. Many small businesses can't afford anything more. Some of these small businesses are going to have to be paying for Obamacare. I know that for you, it might be, as a citizen, and that doesn't run a small business, it'll be better. But then again, those small businesses might not be able to employ you, and you will no longer be able to have health care. So, it's just hand in hand.
Okay. The whole green energy thing, okay, President Obama did back a company that went under, but Governor Romney backed the company that shipped its jobs to China. So, I would rather back a company that went under. Okay, it happens. People fall. Okay, just like when the stock market crashed, banks went under. Things happen. Life's not perfect. But to sit there and back your money into a company that ships American jobs overseas is not acceptable. And I don't think a president should do that. And I don't think a president candidate should do that. You should want to keep your jobs here, not over there. And on the fact of the healthcare, I work for my family, and we have no problem. We're actually functioning in a surplus. We're not under. So all these numbers about small companies are going to get hurt is not true, because I know friends whose families own small companies, little restaurants or little stores in strip malls, and everybody's doing fine. So I don't understand how this is going to happen. And then I think that Republicans are afraid that Obamacare would do good because they keep shooting it down in the House. Whenever it gets to the House, they always deny it. They always say no. So obviously I think it's going to do more good than hurt, and they don't want him to get glory for that.
I don't think it's just Republicans that are scared of Obamacare. It barely got passed by the Supreme Court. So it's not, it could pass 4-3 or 5-4. It only won by one vote. So it's not just us that are scared of Obamacare. It is a lot of individuals. Many Democrats are also scared of it because we don't really know what's going to happen. And like he was saying, he sees a lot of small businesses, but Obamacare hasn't come out yet. So once it comes out, the people running the small business are going to have to pay for everyone else's health care, or part of it. If you're running a small business right now, are you going to want to employ someone else that you're going to have to pay their health care for? Are you going to give someone else a job? No, you're not going to give someone else a job. And talking about companies in China, he wants to raise corporate tax rate, but that's the exact reason why people are leaving the United States for other places in the world, like China, Brazil, Saudi Arabia. Why even have a company here if you're not going to make any money? We need to realize that our jobs right here are vital, and not really worry about other plans in a recession. Initiating Obamacare at this time is the worst possible thing. If this had come out 10 years ago under Bill Clinton, we wouldn't be having this issue. But at this particular time, where money is dried up and shallow, it's scary. And with the unemployment rate at the same place as it was when Mr. Obama started, with the government deficit, another $4 trillion on top of $4 trillion deficit that already was, with Mr. Obama increasing government spending, with Mr. Obama losing more companies to China every day, this is not something Republicans are for. He wants to, Mr. Romney wants to bring those companies back here by lowering tax rates, cutting deductions. Therefore, it's a win-win for you too. He's going to cut the tax rates for you too. If everyone has a lower tax and more people have jobs, that increases the economic recovery growth. With more economic growth, that's more government revenue. Therefore, our deficit's going to go down. And from the 18 trillion that it is right now. So, I'll let you talk.
Okay. So you say that Mr. Romney wants to lower taxes to bring companies back, which may be true, but President Obama is talking about lowering taxes to keep companies here and induce companies to come back, to make them want to come back. So for Governor Romney to want to say he's going to lower taxes to bring companies here, he also said that he's going to raise the taxes on the people to tax them more, which isn't doing any better.
He never
It's
said
the
that.
same thing.
He never said that.
You want to get a debate transcript? He did say.
When?
We can get it off the second debate.
The second debate?
Yes, he did.
What did he say in the second debate?
The second debate, he said that he was going to lower taxes to bring companies back. Then he said he was going to tax people more.
No, he said, from what I heard, in both the first and the second debate, he said he was going to lower the tax rate of all individuals, but cut loopholes and deductions. Everyone right now can have as many deductions by the government as they want. For a big business, that's cool, right? Basically, you could find loopholes in your system to lower your taxes more, and taking money from the government. What we really want to do is we want to cut the loopholes, but lower the tax rate. Because the loopholes aren't benefiting everyone. But there are good deductions. Right now, Mr. Romney's supporting that everyone can get $250,000 worth of deductions, no matter where they can get it from, which ones they can choose, whatever ones they would like. You can get certain deductions that benefit you. But big companies and big corporations and Donald Trump, like you mentioned before, won't be able to get anything more than $250,000 worth of deductions, no matter how much money they're making.
Like I told you before, we can bring up the transcripts, but that is what he said. Mr. Romney has, he does it a lot where he contradicts himself, which is also in some of the debates. He said that he was gonna create jobs. Every debate he says he's gonna create jobs. But then he came back on his word and said that government can't create jobs. So is he implying that he's not government?
No. He is implying that if a government creates a job, taxpayers are paying the money for that job. Every government job that we create, we are all paying for. Mr. Romney says he's going to create jobs, and he will. But the way he will create jobs is through the private sector, not through the government. The way he's going to create jobs through the private sector is, like I said before, is that we need to bring companies back to the United States. Does that clear that up?
The jobs that left the United States left when Obama came in office for the simple fact that he put regulations back in place to stop what the Bush administration has done. It has been proven from the Bush administration that getting rid of regulations is not going to work. It has been proven. We almost hit a depression from not having regulations. Banks failed from not having regulations. We need regulations because people are greedy. People are money hungry. Therefore, without regulations, we will end up in another depression. It almost happened. And it will happen again under Governor Romney.
Certainly. Well, most of those regulations that you're talking about were during Reagan's time, but that's another story. Anyways, not under the Bush tax. But
You watched Too Big to Fail?
yeah, Too Big to Fail. He bailed out Chevy, Ford, AIG. Today, all those companies paid all of their money that they paid back with interest. We've made money off those three companies. So
That bailout came under the Obama plan.
no, it did not. That came at the end. That was the last thing that Bush did in office.
That was not the last.
That was the last thing that Bush did in office. AIG, Ford, and Chevy. He bailed those companies out.
Obama bailed out Detroit.
Okay, so
It's a fact. Obama bailed out Detroit. Obama's the reason why we still have Fords on the road. Obama's the reason why we still have Chevys on the road. He bailed out Detroit. Without him, I wouldn't have a Ford Mustang. So he's the reason why I can drive the car. Well, that I got taken away, but still. So the point is, without him, there would be no Detroit. Detroit will be dead.
I would have to do more research on that. I'm not quite sure if that's quite true, so I don't know which one is correct. But we'll move on to another topic. I'll get back to you guys on that. So
Someone can smartphone it right now if you have an iPhone or something. Just saying.
Bush did AIG and Obama did Detroit. That was basically.
okay.
So it did happen at the end and at the beginning.
All right. So we're both right. We'll talk about what else Obama did besides bail out Detroit. He killed Osama bin Laden, and he created Obamacare, and he increased government deficit and didn't lower the unemployment rate. It's at the same point as it was.
No, it was at 10%. Now it's around 8 or 9. It was lower. 10%. No, it's not 10%. You want to do research?
Well, the unemployment rate between low-income people is higher than it was 4 years ago. The unemployment rate for higher-income people is lower. That is a fact that I can. So how do you explain that? Why is there more of a lower class right now?
Don't you have to have a job to be considered higher income?
Yeah, how is Obama creating jobs?
Wouldn't that be the reason why their unemployment rate is lower? Because they have a job?
They don't have a job. The lower income people don't have a job.
You said that the higher income people
Have jobs.
and that their unemployment rate was lower. Of course it's going to be lower. But the problem with the lower income people are they're too lazy to get up and go get a job. There are jobs available. You can't say there aren't jobs available. You go on career builder, you go on snag a job, you go on monster. There are jobs available. People are too lazy to go out and get them.
The jobs that are available require a tuition, a trade school, or a 2-year degree. People don't have money to go to college right now. A lot of us don't. That's an issue that we're all struggling with. I might want to add that Mitt Romney in Massachusetts had a plan right here. Proposed the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship while governor, which provided 4-year tuition-free state education to any Massachusetts students who scored in the top 25% of their school.
Massachusetts student that scored in the top 25% of their school? Okay, I have a question for all of you. How many of you would like to take another rigorous test to get out of high school? Nobody.
If I was going to get 25% free tuition?
No, this is just to graduate. This is not to get the scholarship. This is just to graduate. It's worse than the CAMS. How many of you would like to take? You would like to take it?
Can I just add something?
Okay.
Is the goal not just to graduate, but to actually have an education?
This says right here.
No, what I'm saying is like the mindset of people. It shouldn't be just to graduate. It should be to be educated, to have knowledge, to have logical thinking skills. And that's why I'm not opposed to a rigorous test. Because I could have any teacher falsify grades or make their standards lower. But I want high standards. I want a good education.
Which is true. A lot of people do. But I'm going to read to you his policy. Governor Romney believes high school students should pass a rigorous test to graduate. This method of holding teachers and students accountable led to higher performance among students and teachers in Massachusetts. Okay. And then he believes that students should have the opportunity to go to a school that suits their needs and should not be denied this based on affordability. So if, let's say, a school doesn't fit your need, doesn't fit what you want, but you want to go there because you love that school. Like, I would want to go to USC, but it doesn't fit what I want to do. So he believes that I shouldn't be able to go.
There's nothing that says that he wouldn't be able to go.
I believe that the needs was having to do with financial need.
He just said that it shouldn't be based on affordability.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
Based
should
on
not
also
be
on your
based.
financial need. Okay. what this whole conversation was about is we need educated jobs. There are engineering positions, there are doctor positions, there are nurse positions. These are all out there, but they all require an education. Those are the jobs that are available right now. When you're saying that there are jobs just laying there for us to take, that is a lie. Teenagers looking for a job, unemployment rate, 60% for teenagers looking for a job. And not because, these are not just teenagers in general, these are the teenagers looking for a job, are not getting anything. That's because out there in the world, I worked for an oil company over the summer, BP. I know a lot about how to get a job, what they believe in, what you need. There are lots of people, but there's so little job openings. So more people are getting laid off than are hired. And these jobs, it's getting harder and harder to get a job because you need more and more to get the same jobs. Obama wants to create more manufacturing jobs and hasn't really specified how he's going to do that, but it's okay.
Romney hasn't specified anything.
Well, you could argue that they really haven't specified between the both of them anything. Besides what we'll go if they both haven't really specified very much, but we'll go on what they've done. Oh, Obama. Oh, okay. Has killed Osama bin Laden and
What Bush was trying to do for 8 years.
Obamacare. And then over here we have all this stuff that he's done for Massachusetts.
Okay, you're
Interesting.
65 years old.
Interesting.
You can do a lot of stuff, but when you're only let me see, get this right. But when you're only 51, that's a short lifespan. He had 14 years on it. Of course, you can do more than 14 years.
But he's had 4 years in office that that Romney never had. That's 4 years to do a lot.
He had 4 years in office.
Highest position.
He had 4 years in office with a Republican House.
With a Republican House and a Democratic Senate.
Yeah, it still has to pass the House before it gets to the Senate.
Okay.
Well, bipartisanship.
But back on this education tip thing. Okay, my mother did work for BP. She was an admin in the lab. No college education.
Yes.
None whatsoever. None. So this, and then on top of that, they paid for her to go back to school. She paid for her books and classes. She took them the receipt, and then they gave her the money back. They reimbursed her. And this was all a part of her severance package.
When was this?
This was 2 years ago.
This was 2 years ago.
Okay. So, therefore, companies will pay for somebody to go back to work. They paid for my friend's father to go back to work because they felt like he wasn't educated enough. So they sent him back to school.
So you're gonna raise the tax rate so we can have less of this going on?
No. See, you're not understanding.
Where's this money?
Obama's plan is to lower the tax rate.
Not
for education.
For
See,
education.
The thing is, unlike the conservative, liberals believe in you have to spend money to make money, not hold on to money. And then when you get into office with a debt as great as it was, when 8 years before him it was a surplus, something went wrong in the gap. Something uncalled for went wrong in the gap. And you can't penalize President Obama for the wrongdoings of what Bush did.
You know what I can?
It took 8 years for Clinton to fix Reagan and Herbert Walker Bush. And Obama's only in 4 years, and you expect him to do what Bush destroyed in 8?
I expect him to keep a relationship with Israel, because in 3 years he managed to not have any conversations with our greatest ally.
Who, Israel?
Israel.
Israel.
Yeah, we haven't talked to Israel because his foreign policy has shut down. Bush had a relationship with Israel, so you can't blame that. You can blame the economic stuff, I guess, on Bush if you want. But what has he done in the foreign policy for making allies with other people?
Okay.
Well, what is he gonna do with Iran and North Korea?
Obama has went into talks, and he has talked to China and Russia about the problems with Iran making nuclear weapons.
But China's
Look.
not going to nuke Iran. Israel is going to.
It's not a nuke. Okay? China and Russia and America and others in the UN have decided to cut off every resource Iran has.
Iran's still making the bomb.
They don't have the resources though. If they're cutting off their resources, how are they going to get what they're going to get? How are they going to eat when everything runs out? They have no resources.
North Korea's been doing it for 50 years.
Okay, and look at North Korea now.
Can I just note that you have less than 5 minutes left, so can you wrap your statements up like 1 minute each or something? Like, I don't know, like, do you want a question, or do you want to just wrap up your argument?
Does anyone have a question?
I have to ask a question. I have to come up with it first.
I have 4 minutes running on here, just saying.
What's your plan if Iran gets a nuclear bomb? What are you going to do?
Our plan is to make sure they don't.
But they're making one.
They're making one,
Yeah,
but they don't have enough uranium to make one.
What if
That we know of. That we know of.
Okay, sure. That we know. They're tech. As of now, they're supposed to be drilling for uranium, trying to find it. But as he said, as we know of, they don't have enough to make at least one.
We didn't know of a way to get our
He said the question.
ambassador. Okay.
There's one. You can't do anything about it. It's already there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
If
We don't know
there's
what
one
we
that's
don't know
already
what
there-
they have.
Let's say, yeah.
Okay, let's say they have one. We have many. If
Okay,
they
but
want to start something,
Obama wants to cut our
One
arsenal.
can
He
kill
wants to
us.
cut our army.
We
He's
have-
already cut our navy.
we have enough.
Okay, I have to
We
stop
have
talking.
enough
I'm gonna get this now.
But one
To
country
shoot it
kill
down.
American citizens. What are you gonna do?
It won't kill American citizens. As just with the Cuban Missile
It's a
Crisis.
nuke.
They're just
It's-
there to be
With the Cuban Missile Crisis.
What if,
If they want to start something, we have. Okay. What you people are not understanding.